Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're having a great week so far. I wanted to continue the conversation that I began last week about ways to control inflammation. Now, as always, the first line of defense when it comes to controlling inflammation is through your lifestyle. So, before we start looking at hacks or tricks, strategies, and tactics for minimizing inflammation, we always have to look first to lifestyle. How are we living our lives? You know, are you eating a whole foods, plant-based diet? Because that will reduce inflammation. Are you getting plenty of physical activity? Are you exercising a lot? And that doesn't have to be traditional gym exercise. You don't have to be doing weightlifting and HIIT classes. You can be dancing, you can be hiking, you can be jogging, you can be doing gardening, you can do anything that is a physically active activity or a physically demanding activity, and that will reduce inflammation. Making sure that you're getting plenty of sleep, making sure that you're managing stress, making sure you're finding time in your life for things that you enjoy, finding flow, things that you love, cultivating and maintaining positive social relationships. All of those lifestyle behaviors will contribute to not only reducing inflammation, but just improving your overall health and improving your quality of life. So those are always your first line of defense. But last week I was talking about one really easy, I think it's easy, and quick thing that you can do to reduce inflammation, and that is cutting out industrial seed oils, or what are also known as processed vegetable oils, making sure that you cut those out of your diet. They're in your cupboards, they're used to cook restaurant food, they're in the foods that you buy from the supermarket. And just following up on what I talked about last week, industrial seed oils, processed vegetable oils are terrible for you because they're made with a petroleum-based solvent, and then chemicals are added in, and things like BHA and BHT, which are known to be carcinogenic in rats, are added in to stabilize the fats in them. They turn into megatrans fats inside your body, which has been known to be associated with increased mortality due to chronic disease. A lot of different things. So the industrial seed oils, processed vegetable oils are not good for you. They also, and this is the big point, speaking to the issue of inflammation, when you consume a lot of industrial seed oils or processed vegetable oils, it can produce and promote a highly inflammatory environment in your body. We have a natural omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of about 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. But when you consume a lot of these seed oils, these processed vegetable oils, it can push the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio from 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 up to as high as 16-to-1. And that is very detrimental as far as inflammation and producing inflammation in your body. So that's just a little recap from last week. Step one when it comes to managing inflammation is always lifestyle, making sure that you're exercising, eating well, getting enough sleep, managing your stress, fostering positive relationships. Another great tip is to remove or reduce the industrial seed oils, processed vegetable oils from your diet. Today, another little tip, assuming that you have your lifestyle practices in place, is turmeric. Now, most people know about turmeric. They know that it's great for reducing inflammation. There's a compound in turmeric called curcumin that is a very powerful anti-inflammatory compound. The problem is that curcumin is not very readily absorbed by the human body. It's very easily metabolized, and so when you're eating a lot of turmeric, you're not necessarily gaining the benefit from it because it's not being absorbed by your body. And I don't think a lot of people know that. So people have the right idea in mind. Hey, I'm going to start making, putting turmeric in my coffee and in my eggs, and making turmeric smoothies and all these different ideas. And those are great ideas, but you may not be gaining the benefit from the turmeric, from the curcumin, because it's not very bioavailable to your body doesn't absorb a lot of the turmeric or the curcumin compound inside the turmeric. So the way that you can improve your body's ability to absorb turmeric is by making sure that you consume turmeric combined with black pepper and some sort of healthy fat. The compound in black pepper, which is called piperine, increases the body's ability to actually absorb and utilize the curcumin in turmeric. And so it can increase the benefits that you're getting from the turmeric that you're taking in. So whenever you're taking in turmeric, whether you're mixing it in with your eggs or making a smoothie or in your coffee or whatever, make sure that you're mixing it together with black pepper and some sort of healthy fat. Now, be advised that if you use piperine, which you can order through Amazon, I've done that. It's spelled Piperine, and it is the active compound in black pepper. It is spicy. So I didn't realize this. I mean, it makes sense. It's derived from black pepper, but I made a big thing of eggs and veggies one morning, and I added the turmeric, and I added a big spoonful of the piperine in with it and some avocado oil. And I was sweating. I mean, it was so spicy because of the piperine. I wasn't expecting that. So just be aware of that. You don't need a lot of the piperine if you're going to use that as opposed to just regular black pepper. You can just use a little bit. So here's a ratio that I was reading that I got online. If you're going to mix turmeric with the black pepper and some sort of healthy fat, a teaspoon of turmeric to 1/8 teaspoon of crushed black pepper and a teaspoon of melted ghee, grass-fed ghee, or avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, something like that would be a good ratio. Now, if you're using the piperine instead of the crushed black pepper, you can probably use as little as 20 to 30 micrograms because it's so concentrated and so powerful. When I bought the piperine off of Amazon, they sent a tiny little spoon with it that I use to portion it out when I mix it with the turmeric. So that is the tip of the day, is to make sure if you're consuming turmeric, to make sure that you are also consuming it along with crushed black pepper or piperine and some sort of healthy fat to enable your body to actually absorb the curcumin that's in the turmeric and gain all of the anti-inflammatory benefits from turmeric. And again, the ratio would be about 1 teaspoon turmeric to 1/8 teaspoon of crushed black pepper, and then a teaspoon of some sort of healthy fat. Now, I'm a dog lover, and I've got 2 dogs that are 13 to 14 years old, and so I'm always looking for ways to keep them healthy. You can give a turmeric mix to your dogs as well. It's called golden paste. So if you're into this kind of thing, which I am, here's a recipe for you to put together to give to your dogs so that you can reduce their inflammation. If they're getting older, arthritis and other chronic diseases can be beginning to kind of pop up in their horizon. And so if you're like me and you want your dogs to live forever, golden paste might be a good idea. So here's a recipe for golden paste that you can give to your dogs. If you get a 1/2 cup of turmeric powder, mix it with a cup of water. You're going to want to boil the water and the turmeric together. Simmer until that turns into paste. That usually takes about 7 to 10 minutes. And then at that point, you want to add about 2 to 3 teaspoons of cracked or crushed black pepper, plus about 1/3 of a cup of coconut oil. And that's after the paste that you made with the turmeric and water that you boiled has cooled down. So wait for that to cool down before you add the crushed black pepper and the coconut oil. And that creates the golden paste that you can give to your dogs. You can add it to their dog food, and you can start with, it says, 1/4 teaspoon for your dog twice a day. And then you can actually eventually, if you want to, as long as your dog isn't experiencing any sort of digestive issues, increase it to 3/4 of a teaspoon up to 4 times a day. But there is a note here that if your dog has gallbladder stones, a bile duct obstruction or diabetes, that you should not be giving your dog turmeric. So that is my lesson for the day. Step number one in controlling inflammation in your body is to make sure that your lifestyle is one that promotes anti-inflammatory benefits, exercising and sleeping and stress management and eating plant-based whole foods diet. Stay away from industrial seed oils or processed vegetable oils, and replace those oils with avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, grass-fed ghee or butter, sustainably harvested palm oil. And then lastly, the issue of turmeric. Turmeric is wonderful. It's got this really powerful anti-inflammatory compound in it called curcumin, but your body does not easily utilize or absorb the turmeric or the curcumin that you take in unless you mix it with something like black pepper and some sort of healthy fat. So those are my tips of the day so that you can continue to kind of work toward improving your overall health and well-being and reducing any sort of inflammation that you might have in your body, which may lead to chronic disease. So that's it for today. I hope this was a helpful little tip, and we will pick up this conversation next week. Have a great week.